Oh, don't mind me. I'm just over here trying to create structure in my life and make this better before I get to talking with y'all. You know what I realized? I don't have no mics. You just give me 1 second. Whew, now that is much better. Okay, let's get a little intimate. Hey cousins, welcome to, what is this series going to be? Welcome to the Artist Way series, okay? Where I'm figuring shit out. I am affirming myself as a creative, as a creator, believing in myself as a creator and a creator. I'm gonna pull y'all closer in. I don't know if I have creative blocks, but I will say that, yeah, I probably do have creative blocks. And I think that living majority of my life on autopilot has not allowed me to really explore who I am creatively and explore the person that God made me. He made me a creative being. He was creative when making me. And so I decided to go back to the drawing board. I remembered I had found this book called The Artist's Way, and I was going to figure shit out. So The Artist's Way, A Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity, is written by a woman named Julia Cameron. I think Julia Cameron was a writer, and she was just trying to find ways to unblock, like she had like writer's block or creative writer's block or something like that. And that's how this book came about. So I decided to jump in and read this book. Now, this was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I was like, I'm gonna go do this. And I started doing the artist dates. I started doing the morning pages, and then fell off in pure Toya fashion. Fell off because here we are on a whole new YouTube page doing a whole nother rebrand. Like, all I fucking do. You want to talk about creative? All I do is rebrand myself every 2 or 3 years, and then in hopes that y'all gonna follow with me. I don't know if it's wishful thinking or just faithfulness that, you guys will listen. But even still, if it's 1 or 2, because the Bible says where 2 or 3 are gathered.
The war might not be over, but we want another battle.
Right? And so if 2 or 3 of us are going to connect on the Artist's Way, then I have completed the mission. So anyway, so the Artist's Way is a creative recovery of sorts. So week 1's theme is recovering a sense of safety. Did I feel safe in week 1? I don't know. Okay, so I want people to be aware that when you start doing this, right, a lot of stuff is going to come up. It may or may not, like, just depending on how deep you want to get, how desperate or how committed you are to recovering creatively and just spiritually recovering. Week 1 is not going to be safe. That's what I'm trying to say. So, she has a part where, you start to delve into your enemy within. And then you also learn about who your ally is within. And then she also closes that chapter up with learning creative affirmations, which are great. I will say that the morning pages, and you know what? Let me go back. Morning pages is something that Julia created where you wake up first thing in the morning. For me, I'm not doing it exactly what Julia said, because Julia ain't talking like a Protestant, saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled woman like me. So I first go into prayer, do whatever prayer challenge I'm doing, or just pray, or a quick, thank you, Jesus. I appreciate you for waking me up this morning, and a little stare off into space, meditating on just the goodness of God. Then is when I will go and open my book for morning pages. That's on a perfect day. That is my goal. Not saying that it happens all the time, but that is my goal. And I also make sure that I pray first before I do the morning pages. Julia doesn't say that, but who gonna check me, boo? So, the morning pages, though, once you get into it, what it is just literally a brain dump. I think the first go round, when I first started it, I was being so critical of myself. Like, I'm not a writer, so I could imagine that other writers were having just a hard time with this because they want to go back and erase it. Brain dump is just that. It's like whatever words is coming to your mind, write it, write. Even if it don't make no sense, even if it's not complete sentences, even if it's scribble, whatever it is, you're writing it out. The idea here is that you are dumping all these things. She calls them blurts. She calls them, is it accusatory, or there is something that she calls it in the book. I'm going to have to find it. But it's like she calls it the cursor. That's what she calls it, the cursor. And it's your cursor. It's your accusatory. It's its accusatory spirit. It's that hating ass bitch that be sitting right here, you know what I mean, and tells you all the things you're not and all the things you won't accomplish. For some reason, majority of the people who do morning pages, all of that just is like the first thing you start talking about. So per Julia, this is a lot of stuff that's coming up out of our subconscious, right? And so in the beginning of the book, which I do encourage you, don't just jump to the first week, go to read through that introduction, because she breaks down how to navigate the morning pages and how there is no right way to do the morning pages. And she even shows examples of some morning pages that she has done where she was just literally saying nothing. You know what I mean? And so it's like, what am I wearing today? I don't know. I hate the world. Why does the world hate me? Why do I even have these thoughts? This is crazy. Like, that is the way my morning pages be looking sometimes. And that is okay, because it's just getting all of that stuff out of your subconscious. That is the goal, to just dump all these blurts and things like that out of your subconscious. Then the idea is, after your morning pages, to affirm yourself, right, with those creative affirmations. What she also deals with is some of the things that come up with as a creator when you're trying to create, right? Or you want to create. Like for me, I want to be a singer. I wanted to be a singer. I want to be a singer. I would love to sing more than I'm doing now, right? I don't think my peers take me seriously as a singer. Like my peers who sing, I don't think they take me seriously as a singer. Or they just don't think that I'm a strong enough singer, right? But maybe it's that I'm just not strong enough because I haven't taken it seriously and like just found a vocal coach and, committed to that vocal coach, right? I did have a vocal coach at one point, and like his life just went a whole nother way. And so I need to find someone, I need to commit to a vocal coach who's willing to commit to me. So maybe that's what it is. Because if I honed my skill, maybe the perception that I think my singing peers have might change, right? So anyway, she encourages us to like figure that kind of stuff out. And a lot of stuff that comes up when we say, what if we take fear out of the equation and say we're just going to go full throttle into whatever this creative journey is that we're wanting to do. A lot of prolific creative artists start to think the common negative self-beliefs that everyone will hate me for this. I will hurt my friends and family. I will go crazy. I'll abandon my friends. You know, all this stuff comes up. I can't spell. I don't have good enough ideas. I will upset my mother or father. Like all that stuff starts coming up for all of us. Even one of them says, I will get cancer, AIDS, or a heart attack, or the plague. Now that is the stuff that be coming up for me too. It's always like the morbid stuff. So anyway, she deals with that and says that's why we do morning pages and get all of that stuff out, right? And then we hear those negative beliefs and then we change those negative beliefs to positive alternatives. And by us doing those affirmations at the end of our morning pages, as best we can, because I want to make sure that if you're going to start doing morning pages, that you don't start putting pressure on yourself. This has been something that I think I struggle with big time, is that when I say I want to start something, I want to start a challenge or whatever, like because I didn't start it on Monday and I started on Wednesday, or because I woke up late today and missed morning pages, and like, oh, so the whole challenge is fucked. And I don't think that that's healthy thinking, one. And it's just not fair to you, and it's not fair to me to be doing that to myself. And so when, or if and when you do start this challenge, do not put pressure on yourself, please, on how you start, when you start, if you picked it, if you missed a week, if you didn't, don't. It's like, let's just flow. Okay. Let's just flow. So some of the creative affirmations that she has in here is, I am a channel for God's creative. I'm sorry. That's not what it is. Some of her creative affirmations are, I am a channel for God's creativity and my work comes to good. My dreams come from God and God has the power to accomplish them. As I create and listen, I will be led. Creativity is the creator's will for me. My creativity heals myself and others. I am allowed to nurture my artist. Through the use of a few simple tools, my creativity will flourish. I really like that one because it's just like, you just need the tools, right? You just need the tools and you need to be led in the right direction. And we will be led in the right direction and God will lead us, because this is all comes back to the common denominator, which is God. And that's why I like this book, because the common denominator is the God Almighty, big man himself upstairs. So through the use of a few simple tools, my creativity will flourish. Through the use of my creativity, I serve God. My creativity always leads me to truth and love. My creativity leads me to forgiveness and self-forgiveness. Big one for me. Big one for me. Big, big, big one for me. I found in my morning pages, a couple of days I've been doing it, as a preacher's kid, and then also just as a kid who was in trouble a lot, a teenage mom, child just getting kicked out of school, like it was a lot. I became comfortable with being the one who got in trouble, with maybe I'm just not a good person, being okay with that girl that just gets fired. So I have to, and then also like hating myself for that, not forgiving myself for my mistakes, and just feeling like a pure fuck up, And so that is a lot to deal with and a lot to heal, but I am committed to healing that and just simply forgiving myself. What that looks like, I'm not sure. I think it's like more loving on me, more maybe even during my artist dates, which I'll talk about what Julia tells us to do. I think through this I will be able to forgive myself and forgive others and just let things go. Also, what has come up for me this week with my morning pages is that I do struggle with imposter syndrome like many of us do. I find that it's not just in career, it's not just in creativity, but I think I struggle with imposter syndrome spiritually. Like, if I'm praying, this is fake. My prayers don't even make sense. Like, this ain't gonna reach God. You're not really saved, girl. You cursed, or you be cursing. You be doing this, that, and the third. You're not saved. And again, I think that comes from church doctrine. I ain't gonna get all into it, but I think it comes from church doctrine, and I think it comes from not everyone, but a lot of leaders in the churches that I grew up in weaponizing the Bible instead of instilling the Bible as a tool in my life to guide me to live out the promises of God. So I have a lot of unlearning to do as it pertains to am I a good person? Am I really a spiritual person? Does God really love me? Are my prayers being heard? My prayer doesn't sound like that prayer. So maybe my prayers are fake. Like, maybe spirituality is fake for me. Like, yeah. So I had to get to the bottom of that and like really figure out what or how to unlearn that negative belief that my spirituality is fake, or like I am a fraud. I'm a spiritual fraud. I am not a spiritual fraud. So, I mean, you just never know what is going to come up with this whole artist way thing. And yeah, that's some pretty deep shit when you think about it. Like, that is pretty deep. Like, I guess even, like even when I'm worshiping in church, it's like, you're being fake, Latoya. Sit down. That's crazy. That's crazy now that I'm thinking about it. Like, there's times that I'm worshiping in church and I be like, this is fake. Like, I feel like I'm being a fraud, or I'm doing this to be seen, or very self-conscious. So I'm going to have to work on that. I'm definitely going to have to work on that, because I believe that that's definitely probably the main thing that's stifling me and my creativity. So yeah, I'm going to have to work on that. But anyway, so I think that has just been what my week has been with Julia. I will say that sometimes, I guess because she's a writer, so she be writing in this creative way, and I don't be knowing what she's saying. Okay, so if you do start, if you do start reading this book, and you're like me, who I'm not big on, like, I wasn't big in English, like that. I mean, creative writing, English classes or whatever in college. Like, you just gotta push through. She do be saying some words that I have no idea what she's talking about, so I gotta look them up. So be patient with that. And yeah, just be patient with that. Oh, what I missed in the beginning, I'm starting to sweat because the glasses is fogging up. So it's like, might as well just take them off. So Julia has us doing morning pages every morning. Every morning you wake up, you write 3 pages of brain dump. 3 pages. That's it. No pressure. She also says that every week we should take ourselves out on an artist date. An artist date could be anything. It could be a 20-minute walk by yourself. And you also have to make sure that your artist date is just with you. And so it's like you want to go to the dollar store and go buy something real quick for yourself and enjoy it or whatever. This week, I'm taking myself to go to the James Baldwin exhibit and celebration at the New York Public Library on 5th Ave. I'm going by myself. I don't know much about James Baldwin. I hate to say it. I should know more about him, but I don't. So I'm going to go and learn about him. And I'm going to take myself out on a date. I'm going to get a little cute and enjoy it. But yes, every week we should be taking ourselves out on an artist date. And it doesn't have to be big stuff. It does not have to be big stuff if you don't have time. Literally could be a cooking date with yourself at home. Okay? But it's something that you are doing constructive by yourself to be able to nurture yourself and date yourself. So, and I guess to find the creativity and the beauty and whatever it is that we're doing, I guess that's what it is. So, that is my week, and I'm going on my artist date tomorrow. And then I will read chapter 2 on Sunday. Go through the week, and I'll touch base with y'all then. Oh, you know what I meant to tell you too. So in chapter 1, she talks about finding your monsters, or what does she call them? Like identifying the monsters in your life. The monsters would be they're historic monsters who, might be the reason or like the beginning stages of where your creative being started to has gotten injured. And so I'm not going to share mine because mine are quite kind of personal, but that is also another area that, things might come up for you and you might be feeling like, damn, this is a lot. Take it easy on yourself. Be easy on yourself during that time too as well. I did find myself I got emotional and started crying. The one I will share with y'all is this guy Chris from the pizza shop. I don't remember how old I was. I think I was maybe like 11 or 12. And, the pizza shop is like where everybody would hang out. And we walked into the pizza shop. I was with my best friend and maybe some other people. And then there's all these boys from the hood was in there. And the pizza guy looked at me and he was like, oh shit, Buckwheat's here. Grown ass white man. Okay. And everybody thought it was so funny. I didn't. I normally, when I think about all the things that would happen to me as a kid, I oftentimes suffered in silence. Like I would keep my head up and I would be quiet. I wouldn't say anything. And everybody laughed and they just kept calling me buckwheat and I ignored them. I just kept eating my pizza. I went on with my friends. And I think that was definitely an injury to me. And it stuck with me because they called me buckwheat all through that time. And it stuck with me. And it was mean. It was mean. And so Julia has you bringing up some of those stories. And, I just thought about how I in turn would make jokes about that as an adult, right? And joke with my friends about it and like make comedic value out of it. And I can find comedic value out of it because I by no means think that I look like buckwheat, but I don't think I ever dealt with the harm and the hurt and the injury of it. And so Julia talks about how our creative being had been injured. And if we're not conscious of the injury, that it will turn to a scar and harden up. And a lot of our scars have hardened and caused these creativity blocks and emotional blocks. So now it's up to me to like go back to that girl, reliving that situation kinda and nurturing myself in that, or just revisiting that and patching up the wound. So yeah, that's what I've been doing with Artist Way for this week. That's a lot. That's a lot because I feel like I was all over the place in this. But I'm many people have reached out to me and said that they are not doing it, that they have tried several times and they're not doing it. They're not fucking with Julia. But I'm gonna try it. I feel like nothing else is working. The only thing that's working is like reading the Bible and praying. That's not true. I shouldn't say nothing else is working. Things are working, and I think that this is like the icing on the cake for me to really, really delve into who I am creatively. And I'm like very happy to grow in this and believe that I'm not an imposter. I'm not a creative imposter. I'm not a spiritual imposter. I'm not an imposter, period. I am a creative being, and I am meant to do creative things in this world. So that is that, cousins. Until next week, I will chime back in with y'all. And hopefully I have done my morning pages every morning and enjoyed my artist date. All right, y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I ain't gonna let y'all hold me. Bye, cousins.